Hello, welcome to another video of the Happy Maltese Life. So my name is Melita and this is my little baby Chanel. Say hi, Chanel. And today we're going to be talking about the 8 things that Maltese absolutely hate. I got Chanel when she was just 8 weeks old, and it was very interesting to see just how much she hated certain things. And so we have another dog. We have a 13-year-old Lassapoo. He's not quite as sensitive to some of this stuff as she is. So it's been really interesting seeing how the Maltese personality works and their tendencies and their preferences. So let's jump in, okay? So the first one is they hate being left alone. Talk about a Velcro dog. I wouldn't say she has separation anxiety, but there are many days when I go into the office a few days a week, that she is following me to the door, and she used to look confused. Now she just looks disappointed. But I know that she's at least not by herself. We have another dog with her. And I know that, when I come home, she'll be there excited and waiting to see me. But it's important to make sure that they have some companionship. Or if you have a single Maltese, try things like the puzzles where you can hide treats, or a ball that moves around sporadically on its own. There are lots of electrical toys out there, but things that can help your dog stay engaged, stay a bit more alert, not get so bored. So that's the first one. They hate being left behind or left alone for a long period of time. The second one is anything that sprays. What I noticed is that she doesn't like the sound of anything that sprays. She particularly doesn't like it when I spray body cologne on her. But she doesn't like it when she sees me spraying glass cleaner on a mirror, or she hears something spraying in the kitchen. It's something about the spray sound that triggers her. Give me a comment below if you have a Maltese that's the same way, or maybe it's just her. Maybe I just, oversprayed around her when she was a puppy, but she runs. She's not having anything that sprays. It doesn't matter if it's near her or not. She's out of there. So that's the second thing, anything that sprays. The third thing is true for Maltese, but I think it's also true for us, right, as humans. Any rough brushing, hair pulling, you'll see that she has a top knot. And when I put her rubber bands in for her top knot, I try to be very careful, right, not to pull too tight. I'll sometimes do like a pull check to make sure there's some slack between the base of the rubber band and her scalp. But she doesn't like rough brushing or tight bows. But I'll tell you, talking about the brushing, I have brushes, but I don't brush her. I comb her. I've noticed that the comb allows me to have a bit more control as I pull it through her hair, and I don't know, I can control it a bit more when I'm especially doing things like her face, because the brush is kind of wide and the comb is smaller, and also her tail. So I don't really brush her that often. I really comb her more than anything because she has hair, but she hates it anyway. At least she tolerates it up to a certain point. Then, too long, she's out of there. So that's the third thing. They really don't like the rough brushing or hair pulling. I'd say the fourth thing here is bath time. Now, Chanel doesn't like baths, but over the years, she's come to tolerate them. Once again, we make it fun with treats. And then when she's out of the bathtub or the sink, I bathe her in our utility sink in our laundry room. When she's out of the sink, I then allow her to kind of walk around and get treats as I blow dry her leisurely. So to kind of take the pressure and the angst off of getting a bath. But she really doesn't like bath. I would say my other dog, he's used to it by now. He's older, but she hasn't quite gotten used to it yet. So just prepare it. If you have a Maltese, especially a puppy, you're going to want to make sure you put them in a tub that they can't crawl out of mid-bath. You're going to want to have toys and treats and distractions. I would say over time it gets a little easier, as it has with her, but it's still not her favorite thing. She really doesn't like it. I'd say the fifth thing are loud noises. So give me a thumbs up or a comment below if you have a Maltese and the minute you turn the exhaust on, that exhaust right there above your stove, the minute you turn that on, they freak out and they run out of there. She has this place where she either hides underneath my nightstand or in my closet when we turn the exhaust on. So she doesn't like it when we're in there cooking and making a bunch of noise and we have the exhaust fan on. She doesn't like the vacuum either. It's interesting. She went from running from the vacuum to now, if it gets too close, she just attacks it. I think she thinks she can kill the vacuum. I don't know, but she tries her little best. All 9 pounds of her really tries to get that vacuum because she hates it that much. But unfortunately, we know that she can't kill the vacuum with just her small body, but she does not like loud noises. And so that's the obvious things like fireworks, and, the Amazon truck pulling up and, the brakes are screeching, she goes ballistic. So I would say that's one thing for sure. Most Maltese probably hate it's loud noises. I'd say the sixth thing is being rushed on walks. I don't walk Chanel every single day. Come for me if you want, but she's a small dog. And we have a decent size side yard, so she gets walked like there to do her business and things. But when we go on walks, right, around the block, in the neighborhood, she doesn't like to be rushed at all. I've seen this dog stop me. I mean, I cannot pull her away, and actually she will lick blades of grass. She'll lick the grass. She'll smell the grass. She'll just sit there and she'll let the wind blow through her hair. Like, talk about a leisurely walker. Like, she saunters through the neighborhood when she goes on her walks. So she doesn't like being rushed. So unless I pick her up, I have to give her time to enjoy the experience and before we can move on. So I find that to be pretty common for her. And then what I'd say, the seventh thing is they don't like being ignored or excluded. I see this almost every day because, like I said, we have another dog, and he's about a 20-pound, 18-pound Lassapoo, and God forbid I pick him up without also having her in my lap, or I give him treats and her being in proximity and her not getting treats. She doesn't like to be ignored. She needs to have priority. I sometimes have noticed that if there's if a pillow falls on the floor from, the sofa, she will ensure that she's sitting or laying on the pillow, so she's a little bit more eye level or a little more elevated, just to make sure you see her and you can see her looking at you. Like, it's comical, but I think it's very apropos for the breed. I sometimes hear them called the Queen's dog and all these other things, but she does require a certain amount of attention, and unless she gets it, she's not happy. So make sure you have attention to give your Maltese. And then I'd say lastly is boring or like low quality or just not cool food. I said this in the last video. I make her food. And when I share the recipe with you all, you'll see her food is made up of ingredients that I would eat. And she loves her food. Like, I can barely put her bowl down before she's ready to eat it. And so I've noticed that over the years, I've tried other foods, kind of going on this journey to figure out what causes her tear stains. She gained a little weight, so how I could help her release some of that weight. And what I've noticed is that she will eat almost anything, but she will not eat everything. There are certain things to where she's just not having it. And so quality of food, fresh ingredients is what she likes. I couldn't give her like a dried up kibble right now, I think, to save her life. So I would just say, just expect your Maltese to be a little bit of a pickier eater. They will eat, they will love treats. Like, she's not a dog where I go to Starbucks, I can get her a puppy cone. She does not like whipped cream. It's not gonna do it for her. So I would just say, just be prepared if you're looking at a Maltese that the breed can be a little picky, but I wouldn't say that they're bad eaters or anything like that. So so those are the 8 things that Malteses hate, and I would say if you love them, then don't make it too bad for them. I mean, there are things that we can help, right? Especially the loud noises. A side note to that is I have tried the Thunder shirt. I only use it on her during the holidays when there are fireworks going around. And so I strap her in the thunder shirt and I sit her in my lap and I hold her. And that helps because otherwise she's shaking and she's really afraid, right? So I would say that's the one thing that might help with the loud noise. But you know, when it comes to the sprays, when it comes to you know, some of the things around the food, just, you know, try things or avoid what you can. But, you know, as a parent, you have to do the best that you can. So I hope that this video was helpful. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with anyone that you know that is a Maltese or small dog owner. They really are a very, very special breed. I am so happy I got her 3 years ago. She has brought so much joy to our household. She's so much fun and she's got so much personality. And so, and she's a really good lap dog. Like this is her all day. I mean, if I let her be, right? She's in my lap, she's sleeping. Her little tail shakes every time I say her name, Chanel. She gets super excited. So anyway, super cute dog. I love her. And I hope that these tips were helpful for you to kind of give you an idea of things to avoid, but also to kind of let you know that maybe your dog's not crazy. Maybe it's just the breed. I don't know if that helps, but have a good rest of your day and thanks for watching.